Alright dudes, we back for some more Fae content. We just got the data mine, so we have the update for pretty much the summer banner that they just revealed. We're going to start things off with the refines for the units first, and then in the next video we'll come back and we'll talk more about the stats and yada yada for the new summer heroes. And then we'll also go ahead and talk about a couple of other interesting details that were found in the data mine regarding future events for the story. So, pretty cool stuff. Let's start things off with Roy, though, because he is the man of the hour. We've all been waiting very long for him to get his refine and remix, so let's take a look. So, Dragon Bind, 16 might, 1 range, effective against dragons, and HP up 3. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range, so they kept the base effect pretty much the exact same. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats up 4 and special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack. And neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat. Alright, so what do we got here? All stats up 4, special ramping, and then he gets half of tempo. So it's going to be pretty easy for him to ramp into specials. Now, the one downside to this is that they didn't give him -1 special trigger innately. I think that would have really helped with this effect here, because having half a tempo and then having the ramp, he would have been able to pull off Gale Force and Aether and higher cost specials a whole lot easier if that was the case. They didn't give him Null Panic either, so RIP. His C skill, as cool as his C skill is, it's not really going to play up him being a stat ball if he's not gaining Null Panic anywhere. And another problem with that too is that if you wanted to replace his C skill for something like Time's Pulse or something that would really help his effects like Rouse 4 to get Null Panic, then you're just hurting him a little bit because he gets damage reduction and stat boosting to himself and allies on that C skill. So you would really want to keep that and not replace it. And unfortunately, a lot of the fixes that this guy would get are in fact in the C skill. So kind of a big RIP for him. He was a letdown, but let's go ahead and move on to Mordecai up next. Now this guy I'm looking forward to because he is a 4-star demote. Very easy to merge to +10. Let's see what they gave him. Alright, grants defense up 3. If a movement assist skill like reposition or shove is used by unit or target's unit, inflicts all stats -5 on foes in 2 spaces of unit and target through the next actions after movement. Wait, did they nerf that? I feel like it was within 4 spaces. Alright, let's keep going. At the start of combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, grants attack and defense up 5 to unit during combat. At the start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if unit is not adjacent to any ally, unit transforms, and when transformed, grants attack up 2, gets 7 true damage when triggering a special, and also gets tempo. So pretty much the same infantry transformation condition we've been getting lately. And his unique effect is if a movement assist is used like reposition or shove or whatever, and targets unit, he inflicts special cooldown count +1 on foes in 2 spaces of unit and target. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And also, if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack and defense up 5 to unit during combat. Okay. Alright, they gave him something. Now, my one downside to this guy is that it's only in 2 spaces, whereas Marim reaches potentially 4 spaces with his debuff. But on the upside, they gave this guy a special cooldown reduction on the foes. So, like, let's say the enemies are Gay Crom or something like, Bunny Sonia or Gay Crom or any of those units that come with pre-charged specials. Lilina as well, Legendary Lilina, Bride Lilina. If you go ahead and pop this movement assist with him or use it on him, and then you're within 2 spaces of those guys, Brave Hector too, like Brave Hector with Hardy Fighter, getting the instant Aegis, or Ascended Fjorm with Ice Mirror. If you reposition or smite into their face, you're denying them of having their special. So, this is a pretty good effect. Again, though, I think 2 space reach is a little bit low on this. They could have probably made that a little bit further. At least 3 spaces would have been acceptable. But with 2 spaces, it's going to be a little tricky to use that effectively. Otherwise, though, this guy looks awesome. They gave him a lot of good stuff. For a 4-star, he seems like a very competent support option. So definitely not some bad stuff from him. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Panne up next. Now, unfortunately, this is filmed with a potato, so we got to zoom in quite a lot here, and it's going to be a little fuzzy. But this was the best I could find on short notice. So Tagwell Fang plus, or just Tagwell Fang. I don't know why I said plus there. 14 might, 1 range, effective against calves, and HP up 3. If unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if unit is not adjacent to any ally, gains all stats of 4 to unit during combat. And also, if foe is not a beast or a dragon, grants an additional all stats of 4 to unit and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on the foe per attack during combat. So all stats up 8 and inflicting guard. At the start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beasts or dragons, or not adjacent to anyone, gets attack up 2. Also inflicts attack and defense -4 on the foe and the impact effect when she initiates. So that part pretty much stayed the same, but the first part they changed pretty much a lot about it there. Basically everything. All stats up 8 and inflicting guard. Alright, let's see what else she got. So at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 4 to unit during combat. And also the following effects will occur based on the value of unit's speed minus foe's speed. So if more than 1, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. If greater than 5, unit deals +7 damage. Wow. Holy smokes, dude. All stats +12? Is that where we are right now? And she's effective against Cav. And she has a guaranteed follow-up, so she can, like, eat through wary fighter effects. This is a very, very powerful refine. And then +7 true damage. Dude, true damage effects just shot up in value so much. Those stocks are going to be so high now. With the addition of the effect of the Thor and Loki. What's it called again? Exposure, that gives you +10 true damage anyway. Stacking true damage is going to be outrageous now. So the fact that she has that... Dude, this unit is nutty. Wow. Okay, so it's really nice to see another one of these GHB refines eating well. First it was Walhart, then it was Naysala, and now Panne. I'm really stoked now to see what Ashnard is going to get on his refine. They need to keep this up. Like, keep up with the GHB refines just being winners. That's definitely going to help us out. Alright, we have Fjorm up next. Now, sadly, Fjorm was not on in a bikini on the summer banner. I think she's the only Niffle sister that doesn't have a bikini alt. But I guess it is what it is. Alright, so her weapon effect calculates damage from staff like other weapons. At the start of turn, if foe's HP is less than unit's HP -1 and foes in cardinal directions, inflicts isolation. I think they made that a little bit better. Wasn't it 3 HP prior to this, I think? So they gave it a little bit more leeway. Now they only need to have 1 less HP than her, and then she'll be able to isolate them. Okay, also grants attack and speed up 4 and neutralizes penalties to allies within 2 spaces of unit during combat. Oh, that's pretty nice. And if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack and speed up 4 to unit during combat. So, okay, this is what she needed, like some kind of support effect. She gets attack and speed up 4 and nullifies penalties to allies in 2 spaces. They could have tossed damage reduction in there, I guess, but we already have Flane who does that anyway, so not too shabby. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade for her, because you really just want her for isolation, and then if she has the option to support, it's going to help. So, not too bad, but I think her support effect could have been maybe slightly better. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to Mareeta up next. Fallen Mareeta. Let's make this a little bit smaller, actually. Alright, so Shadow Sword. 16 might, 1 range, HP up 3. Accelerates special trigger. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack and speed up 5 to unit during combat. And also, if unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack. Alright, so to my recollection, she had something very much like this. She had a desperation effect. She had -1 special trigger. I don't remember if she had attack and speed up 5, but now she does. Okay, also at the start of combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, grants another attack and speed up 5 to unit. and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat. And also, if foe's speed is less than... Wait. If foe's speed is greater than foe's defense? Hold on. Alright. You guys know me with these greater than, less than shenanigans. Let me just fully grasp what I'm reading here. Okay, if foe's speed is greater than foe's defense at the start of combat, inflicts speed -8 on the foe during combat, otherwise inflicts defense -8 on the foe during combat. Oh. Wow, that's raw. Okay, so basically, fast glass cannon units are taking speed -8. That's really going to hurt them. And then bulky, tanky units that have massive defense and low speed, they're taking defense -8. So that's really going to hurt them as well. Attack and speed up 10. We have half of tempo, so she doesn't have to worry about getting guarded. She has desperate... Wow. Okay. This is actually a pretty competent refine for her. I'm kind of surprised they managed to nail it, because she's another one of these infantry sword units, and those are such a hot commodity. It's like, there's so many. Which one do you actually go for, right? So I think they gave her some very interesting tools here. With the desperation effect, she's going to be... She has a niche that already separates her from the rest. You can run good specials on her because she nullifies guards. So, like, she already comes with Flashing Blade 4, so you might want to give her something with 3 hit. Or if you give her Times Pulse, she can ramp into stuff like Luna or anything on that second desperation hit. This is a very good unit, man. I'm kind of surprised. Let's leave it at that. And then speed -8, that's going to help her on speed checks with damage reduction skills like Close Calls, Spurn, etc. Very solid refine. Very, very solid. Alright, finally we have Kiel. I don't really know what they could do for her to make her stand out. Brave Hector and Ascended Idun just have the blue armor thing on lock. But let's see what she got. So, Heartbeat Lance, 16 might, 1 range, HP up 3. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and defense -5 on the foe during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Okay. If foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, inflicts attack and defense -5 on the foe during combat, and reduces foe's attack during combat by X% of foe's attack at the start of combat, where X is the number of units' base HP, attack, speed, defense, and res stats that are greater than foe's stats at the start of combat times 5 plus 10. Wait, what? Okay, that's a mouthful. So she's already doing attack and defense -10, and she blocks the enemy's follow-up attack. So now this attack reduction thingy, let's see here. Reduces foe's attack during combat by X% of foe's attack at the start of combat, where X is the number of units base, all stats basically, that are greater than the foe's stats. So she wants to have higher raw stats than the enemy. And then whatever percentage of that you can manage to muster, you're going to be inflicting as an attack debuff on the enemy. This is very hard to quantify right now because, I mean, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. Every unit has different stats, so there's not really any telling what kind of consistent threshold you can expect from this number. But, I mean, I guess if she has higher stats than the enemy, this could really pile up and do a lot of stat decreases on them. I'm going to have to, like, see this in action first. I feel like it could be something that's really strong, but given current state of power creep and how high the unit's stats get, like, even a +10 Kiel probably has less stats than an unmerged Summer Edelgard, for example. So, I don't really know. I'm not sure how to call this one. Seems like it could be good, potentially, but also it could just amount to absolutely nothing. So, you guys take that as you will. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that one. And also, let me know who you think actually won the Refine Lottery this time around. I think probably Panne won this one. She is doing a crazy amount of stuff here. All stats up 12. That's... Is that the highest we've seen so far out of, like, all the stat bonuses units potentially get. I know we've seen plus 10, but we've never seen plus 12 yet. And then couple that with true damage, guaranteed follow-up, and like all the other things her novel of a refine does. I'm going to call it for Panne. I think Mordecai could be a little better if it wasn't 2-space range. Like 3 or 4 would have been much more preferred for him. But still pretty solid as long as you can get it to activate. Roy was a bit of a disappointment. And then Kiel, I don't know what to say about Kiel. Mareeta was actually pretty good. I think she was the one that impressed me the most as far as like what I was expecting. Because I didn't think they were going to make her this unique. And they actually managed to, which is pretty cool. And Fjorm, they just made her more of a support, so I guess yay if you were using her still. So that's all for this one. Come back in a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and check out the new summer heroes, their stats and boons and banes, and also a brand new character that I don't even know who they are yet. So we're going to take a look at that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch y'all again in just a sec.